What's up, guys? Jordan from Pre-Condo here. Today I am doing, by popular request, a review of Alias. Wonder what the condo project's real name is. Moving on. So it's 497 units, 45 stories at Church in Richmond. Let's get our bearings here. If you haven't seen the model before, blue is under construction and pink is approved or planned. So just bird's eye view so we know what we're looking at. You have Church and you have Richmond here. Okay, this is sort of the south facade of the building. This is Alias here. Directly across the street on the southeast corner of Church in Richmond, you have The Saint by Minto, which was obviously a very successful pre-construction sellout. North facade pretty clear, right? And then to the west here, you have this existing building right here, which you'll want to be, if you want to clear that, facing west, you'll want to be on the 25th floor and up. And to the east, obviously, you're mostly obstructed by the Saint, unless you're sort of these north corner units here. So let's go through the project. This is a exterior rendering. Obviously, it doesn't have the Saint. You know, obviously, architecturally very unique. You've got a dark facade with these gold accents. Very few balconies. The units that do have balconies are quite small. Not really all that usable. But look, you know, we're seeing more and more buildings launch without balconies or with few balconies. We live in Canada. You know, balcony gets used 4 months of the year at most. And even then, I mean, I've got a balcony that overlooks the water and I was really excited about it. I thought it was something I was going to use all the time. I don't know. I use it 3-4 times every summer, right? But, you know, there are buildings you can look at downtown that have staggered, you know, some units will have balconies, some will not. And you'll see, depends on the building, depends on the unit, but $20,000 to $40,000 premium a lot of times for the balcony units versus the non-balcony units. On the ground level of Alias here, you've got a couple of retail spaces, 3 retail spaces. Hopefully Madison Group retains ownership. I believe they're retaining ownership so they can control tenant mix. The lobby is something that's been marketed a lot because you've got this, what I'm told is a $250,000 chandelier. Beautiful chandelier. I wouldn't know much about $250,000 chandeliers because I've never spent that kind of money on any piece of lighting. But, you know, beautiful lobby, tons of stone throughout, and the interior design on this building is actually quite special. This is the exterior lounge. This is your interior of it, so the party room here. Then you have a pet spa, and this has got to be the nicest pet spa I have ever seen in Toronto. You've got this golden retriever here taking his pug on, it's like petception. He's taking his pet on a walk at the indoor pet relief station, taking executive authority of this pug. I think it's a pug. You've got this nice gold-plated fire hydrant here for dogs to relieve themselves on. So I'm sure it's not real gold. I mean, pet spas are nice to have. Like, look, 20-30% of tenants actually do have dogs. I know when we list our, you know, condos for lease, we put no pets. But of course, if somebody moves in with a dog, there's nothing we can do about it. So this might add actually a little bit of value to prospective tenants because, like I can tell you, as someone who's got a dachshund myself, a supposed German breed that should be good with the winters, he is not at all good with the winters. He does not want to get his paws in the snow. So this will be a really appreciated amenity for people who do have pets, especially if it turns out looking as good as the rendering. You have a kids play area with a jungle gym and a theater, and a little area where parents can watch over their kids. And then you have a co-working lounge, my personal favorite of the amenities and something we are seeing more and more. You also have a gym. I just don't have a rendering of it here, but you have a large gym with a yoga studio and a personal training room. But the co-working lounge is actually 2,100 square feet of co-working with 2 or 3 meeting breakout rooms. So that is really nice because a lot of the co-working lounges that we see in buildings are sort of like small, crammed in like little business centers that won't actually get a lot of use. This one I think will get a lot of use because you have separate rooms if you have to take some phone calls, that kind of thing. So, you know, work from home, here to stay for some people. I think the majority will be going back to the office, but regardless, it's nice to have a place to study or work outside of your unit for a change of scenery. This is an interior rendering of a kitchen with a dark color selection. I love it. It reminds me a lot of Bisha. I mean, I still recommend on a small floor plan, you're going to want to go with a light color selection, really going to open up the unit, keep it brighter. You know, the dark is going to make a unit feel smaller than necessary. But I mean, I'm a fan of dark finishes. So if you get a bigger unit, maybe it's worth it. But either way, the interior finishes are pretty nice here. Solid 8 out of 10 on those. A step above your typical commodity project for sure. In terms of transit, obviously, you know, that's the big draw to Alias. Like, you are a 350-meter walk from Yonge Street, the Yonge station. But also, we have Ontario Line expanding to Moss Park. So if you're not familiar with the future Ontario Line, the closest stop will be in Moss Park, just another 550-meter walk away. All right, so let's talk about some resale comparables. So what I always say is you have to find sort of an apples-to-apples comparison. You can't just take a pre-construction price list at Alias, compare it to the neighborhood average on condos.ca per square foot and go, wow, this condo's so overpriced, right? Because that'll be the conclusion every single time. That's obviously a stupid way of looking at value. So what you want to do is you want to find a resale building nearby that's as close to new as possible and as close to the same fit and finish level. And in the case of Alias, we've got a perfect contender here. We have Young and Rich right here by Great Golf. It's like a year or two old. As the name would suggest, it's not actually at Yonge and Richmond. It's just one street over from Yonge and Richmond right here by Great Golf. Finishes are similar, maybe a step below, but it is marketed as sort of a luxury building. And so it's perfect for our purposes. Here is a one bedroom that just sold there, 568 square foot, one in Den. This one sold for $790,000 this month. So that puts that at $1,391 per square foot without parking. Here is a two bedroom. Now this two bedroom has parking and a wraparound terrace. So you'll have to discount from the sale price in order to get sort of a more accurate representation when you're comparing, the price list at Alias to this. This one sold for $1.32 million and it's 843 square feet, putting it at $1,567 per square foot. So this one is $1,567 a foot. And I think if I pull up the building here, there's probably another one. So there's one in January. We've got a 478 square foot, one bedroom. Again, no parking. This is a shared light bedroom, right? So it doesn't have a window in this bedroom. Not a perfect floor plan, but not too bad either. This one sold for $650,000, so it puts it at $1,360 per square foot. So what do prices look like at Alias? Well, $1,500 to $1,700 a foot on average, depending on the floor plan. So because there's, when I pulled the architectural plans for this building, I was concerned with what the floor plans were going to look like, and they delivered. They delivered pretty nice floor plans. There's some support columns, as there always is, but they're always in the corner of units. They're never really impeding on your living space for the most part. So the floor plans here are actually pretty good. Now there's some really, really good floor plans, and there's some okay floor plans, like there always is. Just to give you sort of an example, you've got the 1K here, 520 square feet for $790,000. That works out to like $1,520, $1,525 per square foot. So only, $125 a foot more expensive than resale at Young and Rich. Now, when you pull that floor, and here's another one, right? So there's another 520 square foot, one bedroom at Alias. They both face west, so they're both unobstructed above the 25th floor. And they're $80,000 apart in price, right? So $790 versus $870. So what's the difference between the two? Well, I'll show you quickly. So the 1K, this is the 1K. This is the cheaper of the two. As you can see, a couple of things jump out at us, sort of right away here. Got a support column here. Now, it's not a terrible placement. It doesn't really encroach in your living space too much. And then your bedroom is shared light rather than having a window itself, right? So just like this unit here. And then some wasted space in the hallway here, right? So not the perfect floor plan, but certainly not the worst I've seen. We've seen some really bad floor plans of some recent launches this year. This one doesn't bother me too much at all. But then if we look at the more expensive 520 square foot, one bedroom facing west, you'll notice instantly it is, in my opinion anyways, a perfect floor plan. You've got no wasted space, no hallways, which, a hallway, people don't always like to walk right into their living space or right into their kitchen, but when you're dealing with 520 square feet, you kind of don't want to use any square footage on unusable space. And in this case, they haven't. So, you have no wasted space. Your bedroom has direct natural light, and the unit's really wide. So you have tons of linear feet of windows rather than sort of your typical bowling alley style small one bedroom where you only get a window or pane or two. No wasted space. Bedroom's a little bit shallow at 9 feet, but that's because they have the second closet here. You'd be super limited with just this one closet in the corner. I mean, this is a perfect floor plan, like 10 out of 10 floor plan, and the other one's like a 7 out of 10. So there's your difference of $80,000. As an investor, Does it really make sense to pay the extra $80K for the perfect floor plan? I don't know. You're not going to get $250 a month in extra rent simply because you have the better floor plan. You might get $100 a month in more rent, but when people are looking for one bedrooms for rent, it's a commodity project. They're looking at the lowest price in the building for the most part, right? But when it comes to resale, you'll of course recoup that investment because people will pay on the resale market for a better layout. So that's it for this video, guys. If you want to get a unit at Alias, you can email me or call me. If you want a more detailed project review on Alias, go to precondo.ca/academy. You'll notice we got a 22-minute video on it. And this is where I do my more detailed project reviews, where I get into financials, where I show architectural plans. So here you can see I got a cash flow pro forma here on a 1-bed and financials on the 2-bed as well. So if you're interested in more detailed project reviews, I'll be posting them on here rather than on YouTube. So if you want to watch those, go to precondo.ca/academy, and I will see you guys next video.